Call the spaceships to Davenport. Prepare for divanarchy and interface with a couch in space. It is space couch time. I'm a little bit extra lit up today. I'm not sure why. I think we must be heading towards a supernova, but we'll figure out our lighting structure shortly and how to adapt out here in the constantly lethal cosmos. Goodness gracious, we made it. Look, look at, ladies and gentlemen, I never thought we'd hit triple digits, but we have. It is episode 100. Can you believe it? Thank you so much for sticking with us for this long and for the foreseeable future. Space is infinite, and you know, uh, as long as I'm emitting light from my face, we could just power this to infinity. Speaking of powered, we are powered by the good graces of our esteemed advertiser, Tiger Squawk Records. You want to check out the new Crudmouth, available now at tigersquawkrecords.bandcamp.com. You'll also want to check out Bitman's latest Lockdown Lullabies. You want to check out Night Vibes from Ghost Proxy, super good stuff. Also available Melting Rust Opera in their Tiger Squawk single debut. Virtual Terrorist Gutter Mixes Volume 2. They're back. Cutbrain's new single, Revamped. You'll also want to get Neon Roads, the crazy cover from Norway's Industrial. Isserly's Sad Girls Club, Volume 5. You'll also want to get Animal Songs from the Gothsicles. To say nothing of Putting the Stars Right, the runaway hit charity compilation. You'll also want to, looking great in the chat room today with superstars, Grasp Logic, Dre, Endif's Jason Hollis, Michael Belt, what's going on? I will also like to take this time to plug the new Gothsicles Patreon. Okay, so you want to check that out at patreon.com/Gothsicles. It's going to be great. Speaking of great, who else for this 100th episode extravaganza but friend of the show, friend to many, superstar, mogul, busybody. We're just going to get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. Stephen Archer, what is up, buddy?
How you doing? Thanks for having me again on 100.
Hey, no problem. Was hoping, I was hoping it would be you. We'll do this romantic comedy style. Dude, so we could start on any one of the 20 sides of the dodecahedron that is the multifaceted Stephen Archer. I'm really excited about the Sellout single. Let's start there. Pretty awesome track, and music video follows suit with the Stephen Archer seal of quality. We can drop that in a second. Anything we should know going into just this clip of the video?
This is probably the least effort I've put into a video in years. I literally shot it actually right in front of this curtain here.
Oh, really?
With just a work lamp, and that was it. And but because of because I knew it was going to be all full of other things, all the text and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So I didn't want it to be
Right.
particularly involved.
Well, let's take a look at just a little bit. There we have just a taste of Sellout. You can get that many places, one of them being the Stoneburner Bandcamp.
Hmm.
Um, so let's do a cursory overpass. What's the song about, man?
Okay, well, so this happened. I'll be 50 in August.
Okay.
I'm old, and I was at the time I didn't have a record label, and I was having this moment of like, and the pandemic is rapidly like cutting down my available time to tour, which is really all my best
Right.
marketing.
Right.
And I was very frustrated about that, and so I was kind of really thinking about all of the available options, and I was also working on a new record at the time, and basically it was just the manifestation of oh not what is it my eternal impending fear of death and wanting to come out of the pandemic hopefully with a larger fan base. I spent a lot of time doing live videos and all this other stuff. And I think I'm finally, really producing some of the best music I've ever done. And so I was thinking about that, and I was like, well, I could just sell out. I could do that, and literally that was the thinking on it. And I'm very pleased though because I think I managed to write a song that is funny
hmm
without taking away from what I do or implying that I straight up say it in the song. It's like this is not what I do, but
hmm
I'm doing it now for this. And I think it talks a lot about the general experience our little corner of the world. And
hmm
what's crazy is that it actually ended up working out because that the demos for Sellout and the demos for the record got the Cop International deal,
Oh wow. Okay.
and that now I'm working with John Fryer from everyone, Depeche Mode, Nine Inch Nails, stuff like that, doing the production for it. Um, and So see the lesson. I mentioned this at the end of the video. Selling out works.
So
Um,
to you, selling out is I'm not going to sort of grasp onto weirdness and make like an accessible dance track, or what is the action?
well, it was to me, selling out has always just been doing something you don't want to do in order
Okay.
to make money. Um, and I have no, I like, there's nothing wrong with accessible dance music. There's nothing
Mm-hmm.
wrong with, and I think that some of what I write is accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't intentionally write stuff that isn't accessible. And actually, working with John, we took a couple of the songs that are on the new record and made them more pop oriented,
Mm.
but without sacrificing any of what I did to it. So it was funny. I got the mixes back from John and for Sellout, and
Mm-hmm.
I listened to it and I was like, "This is amazing!" And I literally have no idea why. All of the parts are the same. It's still the same song,
mm-hmm.
but something about this works infinitely better, which makes sense. I was like, if I knew why, I would have done it. You
Well,
know?
let's get into that. It's interesting to me because produced and production is kind of
Mhm.
a loaded word that
Yeah,
means
yeah.
super different things to people. Like, some people say produced my album, meaning like they did all the work, all the heavy lifting, and I just kind of came in and sang on it,
Hmm.
or they, on the other end of the spectrum would be like, they came up with an idea that, hey, you should do a Star Trek song or something like,
Right.
um, so in this capacity, and then we'll get into the John Fryerness of it.
Yeah, yeah.
What actually took place under the umbrella of quote unquote production?
Um, well, I've worked with my buddy Mark for the last few years, and what I
Mm-hmm.
would do is I'll finish the song and I would send stems
Mm-hmm.
to him, and then he would take those and do a rough mix, and then we'd just go back and forth. With this, I sent the entire song, like all of the every single track, and we came up with a fairly good system. It's like every track wet, every track dry,
Mm,
and then a
okay.
couple variations of the drum track. So he had like plenty to work with, and then he just basically goes through, remixes it, gets rid of stuff that doesn't need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
In a few cases on the record, he's added a few things here and there, but so it's not that he is exclusively producing the song. We've done it
Right.
together, and we developed a dialogue. Like we actually just
It's your
last night,
song.
yeah,
Okay.
I just got the they're very much still me.
Right. Right.
And I think that actually he tries very hard to be as transparent as possible.
Mm.
And so, um, talking to Christian, who runs the label, I
Yeah.
was like, he was saying how sometimes you have to kind of really poke him to get his take on what
Mm.
he
Okay.
thinks you should do, which I get. I know that because like when I
It's
when I work with
Christian of
other
Deathland
people,
International. Yeah.
yes,
That's pretty
yes,
awesome.
yep. Um, like when I do commissions for people, I always try and be fairly transparent, or not
Mm-hmm.
transparent, but like you know this is what you want. I want to make
Mm-hmm.
sure you're getting what you want, not what I think you should have. And so,
Okay.
so I, and so working with John has been very cool in that. But eventually, yeah, sometimes you just have to kind of go, okay, how do we make this better?
Mm.
What can Because I straight up told him, I was like, look, hooks are not my friend. Like anytime I've ever managed to make a hook in a song, it's been years of work and study and a lot of luck,
mm.
and learning to recognize them when they accidentally appear. So if you come up with a better way to make this work, please just
Mm. Very cool.
it's more important to me that the song work than it is that my ego is sated.
Totally, or your likeness thereof.
Yes.
Um, the so so damn. It's like, do you just say like, yeah? Could you turn the drums up there? And by the way, I loved what you did with that Depeche Mode album.
Well, he called me up right before we started doing this, mostly just to kind of establish that we were speaking the same language.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dude, you've been in my life since I was 17,
Mm-hmm.
since Dawn Razor came out. Um,
He did
and
the Fields of the Nephilim album.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Well, I was reading an interview with him, and he got started doing this when he was like 18.
Okay.
He just luckily went into a studio one day with a friend, and they happened to need an assistant, and
Mm-hmm.
so he picked up the job. But like, it's crazy. Like, he is the reason the Cocteau Twins sound like the Cocteau Twins.
No kidding, man.
Yeah, he's the one who came up with their guitar stuff.
Okay.
Um,
So it's gothic dark royalty is like
right.
take the drums down 2 dB or something.
Actually, like all the that's the thing. It's like all the mixes that he's sending back, they're perfect. They're
Mm.
immaculate. So like the very few places that are um I'm gonna have him change. They're so minor. They're like, oh, you missed a file there that fills in this little
Mm.
hole or whatever. But I've also just learned a lot, like getting my mixes back and going, okay, you made it better. Why? How
Mm.
did that happen? And he's very good with dynamics. And so, like, let's say you have the intro comes in, and it gets really really big, and then small again, and really big, and you can hear where like he'll cut something out of the first time it gets big,
Mm.
so that this next time it's even bigger than it was, as opposed
Okay.
to having at the same level, if that makes sense.
Totally.
Um, which is something that cognitively I knew, but honestly, I just never thought about it doing it
Totally.
that way. And so every time I listen to one of the songs, and I'll be like, wait, there's a guitar missing or something, and I'll go, oh, I bet it comes in here. So he's thinking, he's seeing the songs much broader,
Mm,
whereas I tend to look at them as, okay, well, here's the verse, here's the chorus,
right.
and they're the same all the way through. He's looking at it towards like a grandiose build, so he's not even putting as much stuff in the initial choruses, so they then come
Mm,
in.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I
that's very cool.
I uh, it's something I have been getting a little bit more attuned to myself. Um, Working with check out this segues producers like Assemblage 23, who
Hmm.
shows up in Sellout.
Yes, yeah.
Fellow New Englander Tom Shear throws a hilarious line in about the what I've always called the doc. It's called the DAC in the song, but what led to the what percolated up in your brain that like, oh, let's get Tom to do a lick on this.
I didn't know what I was going to do if I couldn't get Tom, because I
Yeah.
needed somebody who has enough street cred, as it were, to sell it and to obviously have value to add it to the song, but also somebody who is known for being serious,
Mm,
like who. So when these lyrics come out of his mouth, that it's going to just be not, totally not not within his character.
right. Right.
And so I was very glad that Tom did that. Because yeah, I just could not come up with another good option for.
Well, he is a reliable dude, and
Mhm.
it's really funny. Uh,
And he's
mo-
also totally not DB Cooper. So,
Where, why would DB Cooper come into it?
oh, because in the video, I instead of actually adding video of Tom into it, I just put up a
Oh,
little
right.
thing in the
Okay.
corner. It's like, I'm not driving up to Tom's place to shoot 15 seconds of video, so here's a picture of DB Cooper. He goes on, it's like, I'm not saying Tom is DB Cooper. I'm just saying, have you ever seen him in the same place?
I have not. Um, Not only Tom Shear, but remixers knock it out of the park.
Yes. Yep.
The ironically Doc DAC topping Clack,
Hmm.
friend of the show, and stabbing westward,
Yep.
pretty awesome.
Label mates.
Label. Oh, all right then.
Yeah.
Was that the avenue to just be like,
No,
hi? You
I've known them for a bunch of years. Ego Ego's played with them a few times, and I've done remixes for them.
mm,
And no, over the years, I've just gotten to become friends with them. And it's always weird, like when you become friends with people that are like, way the fuck up the ladder.
mm-hmm.
And it's very casual. Like one day, I was sitting there on the phone with Chris, helping him figure out how to do a lighting trick in Ableton. And I was just like, I'm on the phone with Chris from
Right.
Stats, where we're talking about lighting. And I was thinking about that because I was like, you ever, I think I even made a post at the time. I was like, you ever, feel like you're 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 not getting anywhere in your life or whatever. Like, just remember that some of your very favorite bands are right now sitting on the floor of their living room, surrounded by cables, trying to
Right.
figure out how to make the lights do that thing.
Oh, that's funny, man. Yeah, it's true. Like, your favorite band ever might just be watching Family Guy right now or
Right.
something.
Yeah. Well, I kind of got over any like real getting starstruck by people.
Hmm.
One day I realized, I was like, you know why? Because in the end, everybody, no matter who it is, goes home, sits around, smells bad, and tries to make the thing
Hmm.
that matters to them.
Right.
And that's their end goal. And that's the one kind of common denominator, particularly with the electronic music, because we're
Hmm.
all big nerds.
Yeah.
So like with once you kind of you can talk to anybody and you segue into gear or whatever, and everybody's like, oh well, yeah, we can do this and that and the other thing, and they just drop out of that
It's
mode.
it is true. Like, I mean, like I've talked to Chris like backstage a couple of like, well, twice, and he was like totally cool and
Mhm.
came to see us play and stuff. But and I've told that story on here. Uh, do you ever get into like what's it like to have a hit on MTV type stuff?
Um, I've never really asked.
I'm
I,
just curious.
I talked to Rodney,
Yeah,
my friend Rodney, that I can just call up whenever I want to from the Dead Milkmen.
friend of the show, Rodney Anonymous of
Mhm.
the Dead
I talked
Milkmen.
to him about that one time, and he, Punk Rock Girl, I think, became popular kind of right around the peak of MTV's
Yeah.
uh, cool factor, and he just said it was awful. you know, um, and I can imagine that like being in a relatively independent band when that kind of thing hits, and all of a sudden having a whole bunch of like old white dudes sniffing around because of money has got to be really really strange and very unpleasant. Um, Not ever having had anybody sniff around me because I had any sort of value, I can't say for sure, but
Well,
like real world value, you know what I mean? Like
right. There's that like
part of the cop thing was cool because they had already been following what I have been doing,
mhm.
so it worked out really well because both of us kind of have a real amount of respect for how the other person works. Like
Mhm.
they run cop exactly how I would run a record label,
Okay.
which is very cool. Like I
Well, you are just setting me up for the segues today, man. Thank you. Let's get into that. I mean, you've been on a number of labels. You've been on
yes,
all the labels.
so yeah.
Run a label. What what if I'm, let's say, any level of electronic music, and I'm just sort of an anonymous person in this hypothetical? What should I look for in a label, and what drew you to Cop?
Right. Well, you don't need a label
Okay.
anymore, really, except for Tiger Squawk. Uh,
Well, but Tiger Squad comes from that same
right,
mindset.
right. No, it's for me stuff like this, having a label or having a book published or anything like that. I hate dealing with product.
Mm.
So for me, the big bonus is like I have to deal with shipping, I have to deal with manufacturing. It's done, and I don't have to worry about it. But back when I was actually writing Sellout, I was I had not planned on getting on another label for Stoneburner. I was like, unless something really amazing comes
Hmm.
up, I'm not doing it because, the last label I was on, I had a really bad experience with, which is rare. Like in general, my Dancing Ferret and Metropolis were both great,
Yeah.
are both great because we're still in Metropolis with Ego.
Okay.
Um,
Awesome.
and then I kind of was watching Cop off in the distance, and they had Stabbing, which I knew they were associated, but I didn't know they were actually signed to it. And then I saw they signed to Zam Ali, and I was like, that's really interesting
Mm.
because it was unexpected, and it's such a diverse sort of thing. And
What was the name of the artist?
Zam Ali.
Okay, I don't know. I'm unfamiliar.
She I don't even know how to describe what she does. It's just really
Mm.
very beautiful. Electronica
Okay.
stuff.
Cool.
But it's gorgeous, and she's been around forever. She doesn't like if you have a video game and you need a sort of Middle Eastern sort of music,
Okay.
she's the one who does it a lot. Um, so, and I think she's also working with John on their own thing
Awesome.
too. Um, and I back when I DJ'd a lot, like 30 years ago, I interacted with Cop. Um, but I kind of knew them off in the distance, but I saw that, and so I wrote Christian. I was like, "Hey, do you want to talk about this?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's do that." And so we just flirted with each other for about a month. We would just have our weekly calls,
That's
and
awesome.
I really liked it because in the first conversation, he straight up said, "These are all the things I can't do," and I was like,
Mm.
"Thank you," because the
Hex
thing that
yes. That's really rare.
yeah, the thing that I learned over the years is never ever trust anybody that says we're going to take you to the next level.
That was a physical blow. That was
I know
so
that
accurate.
phrase, yeah, it's like whenever you hear that, just immediately, like, anybody, I don't need a record label to sell themselves to me. Like, it's kind of like the reason I told Sweetwater to stop calling me. I was like, don't call me. I'm a poor artist. And so whenever I buy gear, it's because I've researched the shit out of it and I
Right.
know what's available. I don't need you to tell me what's available.
Hmm.
And so it's the same sort of thing. It's like I don't want a label trying to sell themselves to me. I know what I want out of it, and if you can do it, that's awesome. And if you can't, that's fine too. I'm just not going to go for
Hmm.
it. And he didn't do that, you know. And so that really he's incredibly enthusiastic about his acts. He's very excited about all the people that he works with, and they all have the experience and the you know, they've all been part of this for a very long time. They're all my age and older, and
Hmm.
you know, they're lifers. They're people we've been doing this for the last 30 years,
Right.
and we just want to have something that really finally makes a really good solid impact. And so he's pulling in his resources are amazing.
Okay.
And and the other thing was that he's not signing a lot of acts, which
Mm.
I think is very, very smart. You know, like um you know, I've seen labels that they just sign act after act after act, and it's like none of these bands are touring. They're not going
Hmm.
to bring money in for you. Like, I get that you want to have the cool bands, but if they're not putting the work in, then it's not doing
Yeah.
your business good, and
Right.
you're more concerned with how the label comes across than how any of your
100%.
individual bands come across. And
Yep.
I think you're making it more about you than about the bands, and that's a
Hmm.
real problem. And you know, just being kind of the low middleman on Cop's totem pole. Even with that, I haven't felt like that at
That's
all. Like,
awesome.
yeah, it's really, really cool.
You
Like, I'm getting exactly the same treatment that Stabbing gets, you know, and
Do you mean to
they're
say
just as
that Cop
enthusiastic
International
about it.
doesn't quietly resent all their artists like other labels in the
Yes,
world?
yes,
Oh
exactly.
wow.
It's
I'm not
it's.
saying anything specific about any label
I
except
know
I
it's hard not to
100%
though.
am. Uh,
Yeah,
but back into the positive side of
yeah.
things, you have you're spending half an hour on the phone with the head honcho, and you're getting the
Oh
same
yeah, yeah. Like
treatment
I
as
feel totally cool if I need to call him up and be like, "Hey, I need information on X thing," or "How do we make this work?" or "Hey, check out this painting I'm doing."
that's
You know.
amazing, dude.
And then I also got picked up by Rocky Road Booking,
Hmm.
which is really exciting. Rocky Road handles all the like they handle Bauhaus, Peter Murphy, Fields,
Okay.
Killing Joke,
All
etc.,
right.
etc.
Gangsters. All right.
Yeah, and we've known them for 4 or 5 years or something. Like we've just been friends with them, but we've kind of casually worked with them. But they finally came and said, "Hey, we know how to market Stoneburner now. Do you want to actually be on the label?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, or not on the label, but on our roster."
Hmm.
And they were like, and I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, of course." And that's really cool because they're already looking at next year, and they've got some stuff that they're working on, which is really
They
exciting.
set up tours, or what does a booking
Yeah, it's a
agency do?
booking agent,
Okay.
and you know, so the big advantage. Somebody was asking me about this. The big advantage of using or going through somebody like Rocky Road is that I I can book my own tours, and that's what I've done for Stoneburner. And
Hmm.
we've got our friend Ethan who books Ego, but I can book my own tours, and that's awesome. Except that everybody's event nights are like Thursday through Saturday,
Right.
and there's a whole bunch of other stuff in there that you need to be able to fill in or account for somehow. Because like any day you're not working, you're bleeding money. And what Rocky Road does is they have access to actual non-scene venues, so that during those 3 or 4 days of the week, you know, it's like you're going to be in, I don't know, Fort Stockton or whatever.
Right.
You know, it's like they'll just find a venue in Fort Stockton, and you know the 10 people that are into the scene can go to it. But that way, like you know, it's it helps keep things much tighter, and you're not just floating out there in the middle of nowhere. Like I'd rather play for 5 or 10 people and sell some merch to them than
Hmm.
be hovering, not being able to
Right,
do anything.
right. Just chilling at a Tim Hortons, trying to see if you can
Yeah.
afford the medium drink. But
The, the first Stoneburner tour actually happened because Donna said, "I want to go on vacation and make somebody else pay for it."
that's
And so
amazing.
so that was cool because then it's fine when we do those tours. It's great because we'll have a show and then we'll have 4 days off and we'll go to like the very large array or meteor
Mm,
crater or whatever. But from a we don't always make money doing those, but at least we get to go and be married and do cool stuff.
yeah, yeah. I mean, uh, I hear all the cool kids are married these days.
That's
But
true here. And yes,
oh,
congratulations.
thanks, man.
Yeah.
It was fishing. Um, I want to circle back to this before we fly too often out of orbit. Pardon the pun. Sellout is only a single. We have a full album coming out
We have a full
on
album
the
coming out.
aforementioned Cop. What's that going to be like? Where would you put it against something like Technology Implies Belligerence? We've talked about that on the show before.
Yeah. Okay, so the album's called Apex Predator.
Awesome.
Um, and so I had this weird thing happen where, yeah, I do covers on tour sometimes, and I've been doing them with the live show, the broadcasts, and I found myself on stage throwing myself more into the covers than some of my own material. And I was like, that seems weird.
Hmm.
And like with anything I've done with Stoneburner, I've tried very hard to make it as me as I can. But it, singing live and singing in front is a new thing for me. I mean, I
Hmm.
so there was definitely a learning curve with how to talk about these things. And so I made when we got off the last tour, I was thinking about stage personas and how you come across as on stage and how you present yourself and how you how that then goes at the audience.
Mm.
Like you're there with your megaphone blowing out all of these ideas. And I kind of started thinking about, oddly enough, that Stephen King book with the werewolves in it, and
Oh.
that's kind of where the whole red and tooth and claw
Mm.
idea germinated from. Was I want to be that kind of ultimate apex predator lashing out, and so this record ended up being about anger. Every
Okay.
everything I tend to do has some sort of thing that I have to lock it down to keep me on track, and this one was very much about anger, and because of the last 4 years, and I've had a lot to really be angry about, and I think to the point that actually like it got the better of me in a number of ways uh, in the real world. So being able to channel it into these songs was much better. So that's really what the record's about. There's a song on there called "The Fourth Dog," which there's an idea Stephen King put out that a man's life is 5 dogs long, and the first half of the song is me kind of coming to terms with that, and then the second half so it's kind of going, well, yes, I'm old and all this stuff, but then the second half is going, the beauty of being old is that I don't have to give a shit anymore. I can say whatever the fuck I want, and I just don't care. I don't care if you don't like it, whatever. This is what I'm going to do. And it really ends up with just me just going off on uh, just a bunch of things that I think that need to be talked about. So the whole record is really like that. I think it's in a lot of ways it's more industrial and less industrial
Mm.
than Belligerence was. Um, there's a lot less of the standard tropes.
Hmm.
Like there's a lot less of the distorted vocals. I mean, they're definitely there, but whereas almost all of the drums were made from like um, machine sounds or dumpsters being slammed shut and things like that.
Really? Okay.
So um, there's I think it harkens back to a lot of the roots of
Mm.
industrial uh, without some of the more modern trappings.
Okay. And like a little. Einzerstände or something like that.
Yeah. Well, when John got the demos, he was like, "Well, it reminds me of Atari Teenage Riot."
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. Which is odd because like I never really even thought about it that way, but I
Mm.
can totally see the why of it because I'm doing a lot. The songs are a lot faster and there's a lot more kind of rap influence to it, and
Wow.
so
Awesome. Well,
yeah.
check out coming out whenever it comes out.
Whenever it comes out, we're the I actually got the final mix. Well, not the final, the second to last mixes from John. So I yesterday, so I need to go through and put together my few notes for him, and then that part will be done. Then it just has to go off to mastering. So
Awesome. That's got to feel really good.
I'm excited about that, and I'm excited because I when I write records, I tend to try and write two at a time. In this case, I didn't write two full lengths, but I've got so even when we do the singles are going to have exclusive original stuff too that,
Mm-hmm.
that all kind of plays around with the same ideas that was all written at the same time too. So even it this year won't just be 12 new songs. It'll actually be close to like 20
Damn.
with all the singles and stuff.
That is uh, impressive but not surprising. Incredibly on brand for the illustrious Stephen Archie. You want to check out Apex Predator, the Atari Teenage Riot ass album coming out on long-standing label Cop International.
Yeah,
They've
30
been
years.
30 years. That
Yeah,
is
30 years.
ha ha ha. Uh, Copint, 30 years. See what I did there? I made it about me. The
Oh yeah.
uh, let's go to yet another facet of the Stephen Archer D20. When last we spoke, last time on Space Couch, uh, Mask of the Red Death had hit print. Um, of course, the Edgar Allan Poe super classic. We've now leveled up because something can't exist in Archer World for too long without going audio.
Yep.
Um, so we've got a little audio for your body, yo. Check out. We're just gonna cut to it for like 30
Yeah, yeah.
seconds.
Do it. Take that.
This is a little preview of Mask of the Red Death audiobook. This is coolish.
The Red Death had long devastated the country. No pestilence had ever been so fatal or so hideous. Blood was its avatar and its seal. The redness and the horror of blood.
Ooh, I'm feeling spooky. I'm feeling spooked, I mean, because that book is spooky. I know how English works. Wow. So I forgot where we should even start on this. Let's just do this. Who's talking? Who's doing the
So the,
narration there?
the narrator is Stefan Rudnicki, who I was listening to another audiobook, and he was doing one of the stories in it, and I recognized his voice because he also did Eon by Greg Bear, which is one of my favorite books.
Mm.
And I was like, that's the person I want for this. That's the guy's voice. And because I'm an impulsive person, I thought, well, I'll just why not give him a call or reach out to him, see if I can make something happen because I had it all kind of mapped out in my head what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so hopped on Twitter, sent him a private message.
You just tweeted him. Okay.
I just tweeted him. Yeah, I was just like, hey, I've got this idea for something. Would you be interested? And we did a little bit of back and forth. And I sent him some other things I had done that were similar, like some of the Hopeful Machine material. And I gave him my number and explained to him, I was like, look, I've got a sleep disorder, so I'm just usually not awake during normal people hours, but just call me whenever I'm fine. So, and then I forgot about it. And a few days later, I'm sitting there on the couch with Donald watching some show, and phone rings. It's not a number I recognize, and it doesn't say spam, so I pick it up. And that voice is on the other end.
That's cool.
And what was it? It was like, hello, Mr. Night Owl. Like, I'm in the Justice League.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So turns out, which I didn't know at the time, that he's a two-time Grammy winner, Stefan Rudnicki, um, which totally makes sense
That's
for
amazing.
audiobooks. And and we had a really it was a very good experience just doing the whole thing.
That's awesome.
Like he was so easy to work with, and he helped me kind of guide me through what he needed from me,
Mm,
and how different ways he could do things.
okay.
And I'm very pleased, because I knew in my head that it would work, but hearing it all come together and then sending it off to this guy this is his job.
Yeah.
um, he was really, really impressed by it, and he was like, he recognized what I believe and what I think. I hate to sound full of myself or anything at all like that, but it's a really cool special thing. Like,
Mm,
I've never heard anything like this, and I've got almost 1,000 audiobooks in my collection through Audible.
mm,
So it's always really exciting when somebody who really knows what their medium, like
mm,
he is also excited for something that you've done. Um, and then last night I had to do my portion of it,
mm.
which is reading my intro. And let me tell you, I'm totally comfortable singing in a microphone. I'm totally
Right.
comfortable talking in front of people. I am really, really not comfortable recording something that I have written that will go out, uh, to anybody who wants to listen to it,
Well,
and
thanks for showing
getting
up
rid
on
of all the
Space Couch then.
ums and hmm?
Thanks for showing up on Space Couch then.
Well, this is fine. Like, I can have
Okay.
a conversation. I know how to have a conversation. It's the recording something that I have to cut out all of the ums
Okay.
and keeping it even and at the same, emoting but not over emoting,
Mm,
that sort of thing.
right.
And so just for, like, one page of text, I spent like a good 45
Really.
minutes and almost ended up having to, like, cut each line together in order to make it sound like I'm a real human who can actually just read and talk. So,
I want to
uh,
jump in 1 second, give a shout out. Twitch just blew up. Hi to Precious Ken, DJ Zian. Oh, DJ Wicked Goth is here. What's up? And Lesers with 3 Z's. Thanks for showing up, guys. I think we are now at the most we've ever. This is officially the highest live viewed episode. So,
well, it's number 100
well, yeah,
and
and
the
we got
amazing top.
guest number one. Um, so I don't know if this is too woo woo or out there, and the answer may be no, but um, was anything sort of more revealed or emotional truths, is a phrase that I picked up from MC Lars, in dealing with this book in audio format? Because you've obviously lived with the material for a long
Yeah,
time, um, artistically, but now you're bringing it into the sonic sphere and introing it with your own thoughts that you recorded.
yeah.
Did that present it differently to you at all?
I saw it differently, and I got to play around with. I learned an awful lot about doing it. I've
Mm,
always wanted to do film scoring, and I've had some stuff used in film, but this is the first time I've really written something specifically for that.
mm,
And one of the things I learned, and thank you to Carl from Angel Spit for casually just saying this one day. He was like, the human ear can only listen to one lead instrument at a time.
oh shit,
And
that's huge.
that's always stuck with me, and that's always helped for mixing my own stuff. But, like, I would have a section where there's a lot of just real ambience and stuff like that, but every once in a
Mm,
while actual melodies will come in. And I got very attentive to what is your ear following, because obviously it should be following the voice. And so if the melody comes in slightly before the line begins, your brain immediately gets sidetracked and starts following the melody and misses the voice.
mm,
So there were places where I had to go back and just slide that melody kicking in like a word behind when the vocals start. And then it still does its job without distracting you. So that was really fascinating. The other thing that was a lot of fun was I kind of came up with sonic themes for different parts of the book, like different locations, like in my head, the wasteland of outside the castle
Mm-hmm.
has certain elements to it. And so at one point, the narrator is talking about different rooms, and in one room in my head I was like, okay, well, that room has a window in it, so there's sound coming in from the outside world, so I was bringing some of that back into
Okay,
it.
awesome.
um and I played it for somebody else, and they said I liked that section because it sounds like he's walking through and describing it. And I was like, that was exactly what I was going for. Like, I've got really subtle footsteps
Okay,
of him walking through, and each
dope.
room has its own like reverb, things like
Okay.
that.
Wow. Okay, so you're really sort of bringing it way off the page into this sort of space
I
you
had
can
somebody
walk
who said
through.
they made it they felt like they had gone to a movie after
Awesome,
listening
awesome.
to it. Yeah, which was really cool.
Well, let's get into the business end of it. Is this available now? Where do we pick it up?
No, I just, like I said, I just recorded my stuff
Oh,
for it
done.
last night. I'm hoping to have John Langan, who wrote the intro for it, read his section, but also it's very long,
Hmm.
and it's very academic. And so I will kind of understand it if he doesn't want to. So I'm going to give him a little bit of time to do that.
Hmm.
And I don't think that the audiobook will suffer for that. So now that all the audio is done, I actually have an interview at the end of the book with myself and Stefan, just
No, cool.
talking about things involved with it, which is very cool. And then it takes about 3 weeks. So once I get it mastered, I've got the basic mix done. I think I'm going to have one final mix pass on it, just now that I haven't listened to it for a few weeks. Um, Once it's mastered, then I think after I deliver it, it takes a few weeks to propagate out to all the various things. So I think it should be out by the summer sometime.
Okay, awesome.
Um,
Looking
I
forward to
also
that.
have to do that little. If you listen to audiobooks, they always have the disclaimer of these are the rights and all of this stuff. So I have to actually record that for
Oh,
it.
wow. And you're just putting this out yourself? Just
No,
okay.
no, actually that worked out really well as well. Stefan actually runs a audiobook distro,
Oh, hell yeah, man.
and it's just like any other digital distro that you
Hmm.
use, where they make sure it gets out to wherever it needs to get to, and then take whatever their cut is, which is pretty minimal.
Mm.
Yeah, you just basically just hand them the finished product, and then they do that.
Very cool. Well,
Yeah, so no, it will be available wherever audiobooks are available.
check that. Heck yeah, check that out. It's gonna be.
That was something I didn't have an answer for until it was presented to me. I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know exactly how I'm going to get it out there, but I'll figure it out. I've got, there are other people on Raw Dog who have audiobooks out, so I
Mhm.
figured I would just go and talk to them, but now I don't have to.
Very cool, man. Well, we certainly look forward to the Mask of the Red Death audiobook, scored and introed by our guest today. Want to give a shout out to Dan of Missing in Stars. You are no longer
Oh,
missing. You are found in the stars here in Space Couch. Speaking of collections of stars, I'm excited to hear what may or possibly not be happening with Wolfcore Records.
Wolfcore. Yeah, well, I mean, I've got Hemlock on it, so her projects are there. Right now, I'm obviously just kind of focused on getting the Stoneburner stuff out.
Okay, Wolfcore
But
Records for the audience is the label you run.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
Wolfcore is my convenient dumping ground for all of the other stuff. Um, and but I have somebody wants a Queen Neon song for a compilation, so I'm going to,
Hmm.
I guess, have to put on that hat at some point and do that stuff. Um, so other than that, not a whole lot is actually happening with that beyond, like really just it's kind of all Stoneburner all the time at this point.
Okay.
We are doing a cover song with Ego for the Crow compilation that Jim's doing with Distortion.
Well,
We're we're doing Time Baby 3, the medicine song.
okay. Uh, quickly, we got a Wolfcore shout out from Naked Mole Rat herself, superstar Ithra is in the room. What's going on? The you're doing a Distortion's doing like a Crow cover.
They're covering the entire soundtrack.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Boy,
yeah.
was
So,
that
so we're
formative.
we're doing
Shout out
yeah,
to Hemlock, says Rhea.
yeah. she's Hemlock has just been one of the best things that happened. It's
And
just so nice having somebody as invested in the project as I am,
so
which
we
is
can
really
check out
cool.
Hemlock Graves on Wolfcore now. Where's Hemlock out of?
She actually lives right near us.
Okay, you guys are in
Yeah,
Baltimore then.
yeah,
Ish.
she's like 10 miles down the road or
Awesome,
something at this
awesome.
point. But yeah, I brought her in because when I started doing all the singing, I was like, well, I need somebody else to help fill out the stage. I don't want to play drums the entire time that I'm singing. Uh, and but the main thing was I need somebody who can keep up with me.
Hmm.
And she is certainly, not, doesn't have a lack of energy. So that's good.
And she's here. Hi, Hemlock.
Oh, there you go.
Uh, Eric's. Oh, hey, Eric says he's waiting for Jim to post pre-orders for The Crow. Should be cool.
Hmm.
Shout out to Distortion. Uh, Jim was an early slate to be a guest, and then we were gonna do it live at Dark Side of the Con, which is now on its
Mm.
fourth pushback. So we'll get you on here eventually, but that's cool. And a wonderful segue with all the Stoneburner, Queen Neon, Wolfcore. Where is Ego Likeness in
Well, like I said,
2021?
Ego's doing that cover,
Yeah, very
and
cool.
it's just I've got a bunch of material written, and so it's really just waiting for the stars to become right. Donna's
Hmm.
done. She's been doing a lot of teaching lately and working on her next book of poetry.
Awesome.
So it's really
Bram Stoker nominated author?
Bram
Or?
Stoker nominated authors. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yes, she just got her second one last year.
That's so
Um,
dope. You,
so
you get all the goth points. You guys have you've won them. You caught them all. Um, well, with all this show talk, like I think it feels like we're coming back online as like a community, like right? Or are
I,
you ready to start getting back into it?
oh yeah, as far as touring goes, I've already Rocky's already looking at like is already booking a fall tour.
Awesome.
It's regional, but we will be up by you. So
Awesome. In
uh,
space? Looking forward to having you.
yes, yeah,
We do have a terrestrial
we
base in
got a
Boston.
brand new van,
Okay.
and
Oh, okay.
one of the options on the gear shift is L, and I'm pretty sure that's for launch. So
Awesome. Okay. Well, what an age we live in. Dan says, congrats on 100 episodes. AJ Partiga says, Hemlock is a drumming goddess. And how can you not love that Space Couch's 100th is occurring only days after Red Letter Media's BOTDW number 100? Awesome talk, guys. Thanks, Brett. Shout out to Red Letter Media out of Wisconsin, I think. Um, I never met them. They drink spotted cow beer on there, so I assume they're from Wisconsin. Doing Gothic
doing
Cruise.
Goth Cruise, yeah.
Awesome. That
Yeah, it's Stoneburner, Dissector, and Rain Within.
okay. Well,
So and I'm
that's
going to try and do something kind of cool with Stoneburner. So we'll see how that goes. So hopefully you'll be getting more than just the usual thing.
that'll be and so it's full force ahead on that. Like it's not some weird is it
At the
half
moment,
full social distancing thing or
no. At the moment, it is. It's definitely a lower number than we usually have, but
mm-hmm.
it's which I don't blame anybody for.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like hopefully it'll all come out. I Donna and I and Hemlock are all vaccinated up, so
Mm.
we're ready to. We're just waiting on everybody else to get their shit together and get the herd.
Yeah,
Uh,
it feels like everyone's just like a mousetrap hair trigger away from like getting back into it.
yeah,
I know I am.
I hope so. It's a race against those variants, man. So hopefully,
No.
hopefully they don't screw it up for the rest of us. Um, but I do want to say before I forget, tonight at 8 o'clock we're going to be doing a live set. And since I'm in Facebook jail, we'll be doing it from Donna's page and the Ego Likeness page, as well as uh,
Oh, well, I'm glad you brought that up. I'd
Twitch and
forgotten.
YouTube.
Let's make sure we plug that. It's twitch.tv/ego likeness. We find that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, about 8 on the East Coast of these United States. You want to check out Is it we do an eagle likeness to light or burner or what?
It's Stoneburner. It'll be
Oh,
Stoneburner.
it'll be Stoneburner
It's
tonight.
actually Stoneburner sound system. So we'll be
Well,
doing
thank you for taking a
new.
day at some time out of your prep day. We'll certainly be checking that out. Um, Space Couch will be. I'll raid to your channel for sure.
Please, yeah.
What's up, Jesse Hunt of Conformco in the chat room? So we are committing a crime right now as we speak.
That's true.
We've busted you out of jail. Um, so I mean, we don't need to get into this stupid nitty gritty of it if you don't want, but like, what's Facebook jail like?
Well, I'll tell you, this is my second month-long stint in about 3 months, and it's actually kind of interesting. It's kind of like being dead, like being a ghost, because you get to kind of watch as all these people say shit about you, be it good or bad. I'm glad he's not on here anymore, so that's kind of interesting. The one cool thing was that, once again, going back to cop, I got signed. The signing announcement came out while I was in jail last time, and then the single dropped this time. And what was awesome is that all of a sudden there was actually people talking about it, and I didn't have to actually do any of the promotion for it.
Okay,
like I
so
could,
that would have driven me crazy. Like, if I got signed and I can't like plug my record on
it's
Facebook?
annoying, but like, it's all of the places that I would normally have said, "Hey, can you mention this?" All took care of it. Like, they all did it on their own. So like, yeah, their press person is on the fucking ball.
Okay.
Like, it's really, really cool. But yes, do you know what I got put in jail this time for? Was for saying, "Yeah, I'm sorry, dog."
You criminal.
Right.
You scoundrel.
What? And I had a few people go, "Well, you just need to be more careful." I was like, "Be more careful? How would you ever think?" Like, it wasn't like I was intentional, or not even intentional. Like, this is a questionable statement, like,
I'm at a rare loss for words. Like, I don't know. Like, it's not like, you know how you're telling a story to your buddy later, buddy after the fact, and you're kind of at fault, but not really. Like, this one is like a zero burger.
Right, exactly. Like, the last time I was in was because somebody post a picture of your cat and their name and where you live. And so I was like, well, this is Sophie and this is their name, and I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you. And again, context matters, and
yes!
Right, exactly. So it's like, but the algorithms don't see that. This last time I actually got on with someone in their service department and tried to be like, look at the context. Like, look at what I was saying. This was obviously not malicious. The person who saw it wasn't, I was responding to didn't think it was malicious. It's your system that's at fault here. Oh, there's just no way to not see that is your system at fault. And that didn't help.
I3 says, damn, sorry, Doug.
Yeah, right.
That is crazy. Like,
for the brief period I had another account running, I had a few people comment that thinking it was funny, and they got warnings.
Really?
So that's just me. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, look, I'm
and we have like literal Nazis that are on Facebook right now.
There's so many problems that we got to take down this look, I'm not literally in space. Oh my God, I've just committed a fucking crime. It really makes me like, is that the number one problem we have? Right. Like, we gotta take this dude out. We'll let whatever, KKJ or whatever bullshit gets around some real. I'm preaching to the choir, I know.
The reason I was able to get to customer service is because I have spent money on advertising. So they have an actual advertising for customer service people. But even there, it was still like, oh, but you can still advertise on Facebook if you're in jail.
You can still advertise. Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can still give them money. You just can't get out of jail.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, Benny Sweat of the Sweat Boys tour mate. What's up, buddy? Says, sorry, Doug. Eric says, Nazis okay. Female nips are evil.
Right.
DJ Zayan said they'll totally take that cash, though. All right. Well, uh, that is annoying. I'm happy we were able to semi break you out of
I appreciate that. No,
jail
I should be
today
back
for
in a
this
couple of weeks. I'm gonna
intellectual
hijack Don
conjugal visit.
tonight.
What was that I talked over you?
Oh no, I said I'm just gonna hijack Donna's feed tonight for the
Sounds
show,
good, man.
and I should be back in a couple of weeks. I know everybody misses my shit posting. So
I certainly do.
as an
Precious,
aside, though, apparently you can say I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you if you put it in quotes.
it just it just keeps going.
Yeah.
Oh well, I love you to death, and whatever other context thing you could take possibly the wrong way, like the whole George Carlin bit about words that sound dirty but aren't,
Right.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's pussy
Potato chips.
willows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, don't say hijack. It's funny. So let's
We're gonna grab that pussy, put it in the box, and take it on the airplane. Yeah.
my my buddy in college wanted to start a band called Ceramic Pistol Airport, so he would get flagged by the FBI. Um, you speaking of things you want to flag, set high importance for tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/ego likeness to see Stoneburner. You want to check out
We're gonna
uh,
be doing new stuff too, like
new
stuff that
stuff tonight.
yeah, like a couple, at least one new cover, maybe two, and probably new stuff from Apex Predator.
Oh, well, let's get on that. We're going to bring this Rogue Flight Path back on into the station, so let's do it's always a laundry list with Steven. You want to check out Sellout, out now. Remixes, an amazing music video, knocked out of the park on that single. You want to check out the upcoming album, Apex Predator, upcoming Mask of the Red Death audiobook. You will want to tonight see Stoneburner live. Check them out on the Gothic Cruise. Wolfcore Records still going strong, coming back to the live sphere as soon as we can do it.
Snooze, yeah, yeah.
And he'll be out of jail soon. Everybody says hi, and I Wicked Goth. I needed a good laugh from Steven's wisdom. Missing it, as are we all. Anything else you want to toss out here on Space Couch?
I don't think so. I would again like to just compliment Hemlock, my drummer, who's just really been very just been a great addition. So thank you very much for that. Even though I will see her in a few minutes. Mostly, I just want to draw people's attention to her because I think she. I've met a lot of people over the years, and she actually gets what I think all of this is about, and I think that's really cool.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Particularly considering she's like 12. So.
Well, oh no, Facebook show. So we will check you out in just a few hours, man.
Yep.
Thanks for dropping by. So this is Brian for Space Couch, for Steven for 8,000 Things. We'll just say Stoneburner for now. Saying call the spaceships to Davenport, prepare for Div Anarchy, and interface with a couch in space. Space Couch out. Technology Space Couch out. It implies belligerence. Dude, wonderful as always. Thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to seeing you live tonight, man.
Yeah, thank you. And how are you on vaccinations? Are you guys being able to get...
we're last in line in terms of demographics.
It's hard when you're in the city, yeah.
The state of Massachusetts, will send me an email every now and then saying you're still on the waiting list, but the date has yet to come. But it's bizarre. Like Walgreens and CVS have like their own, so I don't know if I'm supposed to, go in just rogue and do it. It's
Right.
but it Should be.
I don't know
coming up.
if you can sign up somewhere else, but if you can't, like, look into signing up like somewhere, out in the country, like a mile or an hour out or